Rule number 2, leave emotions out of the picture. I know a lot of these dudes and women, and I'm gonna drop the link in the chat shortly. I know a lot of these dudes that let these women, because emotions, let me break it down for you. It's a difference between being passionate, emotional, and then letting your feelings get the best of you. And I'm gonna break down all 3 of them for you really quickly, okay? So being passionate is still masculine, right? Being passionate extends to femininity also. That just means that you mean what you say. When you're in a debate, you may argue fervently, you may have vigor, right? You may be, super dedicated to what you own. I'm passionate about this project. I'll stay up all night in order to do so. Somebody can argue with passion, but it doesn't mean that they'll make a decision based off of emotion, right? Emotions are the things that get you killed. That's when you make a decision, a split-second decision based off of how you feel instead of staying in the frame. And that's where masculinity have to come into play. Because women will do things that's emotional, but men just stay on their square. When women are able to, oh my God, I can't believe I'm about to quit my job. That girl was talking about me at work. You tell her, hey, relax. Gather yourself. Come here. Let me talk to you. Sit down. Sit on my lap. Let me talk to you, baby girl. Right? A woman, I am expecting for women to operate out of their emotions. They're nurturers, they're feelers. Even the decisions that they make, it's the worst for them, which is one of the reasons why they need a man in their life in order to guide them, in order to be proactive. It's the reason why her husband is supposed to walk her down the aisle and then hand her over to her groom. The groom is continuing to build her up. It's continuing to make her what it is that she's supposed to be, right? And so when you talk about emotions, that's a female trait, right? And sometimes we may even get emotional because there's things that happen in our life that cause us to feel a certain thing, right? It's nothing wrong with having emotions. It doesn't mean that you're any less masculine because you have emotions. The thing that then takes away your masculinity is when you then lean into those emotions in order to make a decision. And then you operating like a female. Get out of your feelings, fam. Make a decision based off of what makes the most sense instead of how you feel at that particular. Put the phone down. Some of y'all can't wait to get on Instagram and Twitter and start exposing y'all relationships and talking and telling everything about your business and telling the whole world and exposing everything that had never happened to you in your entire life. And you're going to start liking that chick again in 2 days, but you done already ruined your relationship or ruined the perception of what it is that people feel about your girl because you was emotional. You let your emotions then pick up your phone and then you start Twittering or you start exposing her and you start talking about her, but then you're going to still sleep with her the next day and she's still going to be your wife. Y'all do that in regular life. Y'all do that in real life. In your relationship, these hoes can't wait to go and tell all of your business over into her homegirl. She calling her mama. She done told all of your business to your daddy. She done told your daddy and your mama and her homegirl how big your dick is. She done said everything, and because she was pissed that she didn't even lied on you. Every secret that you done ever told her, she got pissed and she was in her emotions and she went out and she started talking shit about a bunch of stuff that y'all had going on that was supposed to be private just amongst y'all. Facts. Facts. And now, every time you go over to her mama house or every time her homegirl come over here to visit, you trying to figure out why she looking at you funny. Is it a fact or is it a fact? You know what I'm saying? You trying to figure out why she looking. It's because your girlfriend or your wife then already told all of your business because she was in her emotions based off of a conversation that y'all was having. And so she ran out and she was feeling some type of way. And now everybody in the town, in your little town of 2000, know everything about what it is that you got going on and all your indiscretions and every secret that you have is all with them. You don't know that they know, but every time you go to church, everybody looking at you funny and they want to pray for you extra because she done told them how much full of the devil you are. I know what y'all got going. Listen, somebody turn to their neighbor and say, I ain't right. Turn to your neighbor on the left and say, I told your business. Turn to your neighbor on the right and say, I ain't right. I was emotional. I confess, I'm asking for forgiveness. You was emotional. Now it's a third tier, right? We talked about passion, we talked about emotion, but it's a third tier in there. And the third tier is feelings. Now, here's the important thing about feelings is that sometimes feelings don't even have anything to do with you, but it has everything to do with how it is that you're going to make a decision. Well, let me give you an example, right? You stayed too long in that relationship with that chick that didn't even have your best interest at heart because she used her feelings to manipulate you into making a decision that you should have just stood on your square for and never waved, never moved, and stayed on top of things. Their feelings are used to manipulate the behavior that you're going to use in order to make a good decision. Some of you stay in a relationship too long. Some of you decided not to get a prenuptial agreement because she manipulated you when she was in her feelings about being upset about you even proposing that to her in the first place. And so instead of you staying on your square, remaining in your masculinity and being about business, because I always tell y'all it's always business first, the business is going to protect you. The business is going to get you the bag. The business is going to prevent you from making a decision that you're not supposed to be in the first place. You let her feelings then manipulate what it is that you have going on in your life. Some of you let the feelings that you think that you have or that you think other people have for you allow you to stay in your job too long. Some of you let your feelings then manipulate how it is that you're supposed to operate in your relationship because you're so busy paying attention to how they feel about the person that you're with instead of making a decision about what's in your best interest. There has never been a man that stood on his square that regretted it later. I've never seen a man sit there and say, I regret getting that prenuptial agreement, even if he wound up staying with her for the rest of his life. Think about that shit. You've never ever seen a man say, I regret making her sign a prenuptial agreement, even though she was mad at me when I brought it up in the first place. Even if he stick with her for the rest of his life, I've never seen a man come back and say, I'm mad or I made a mistake by making her sign that prenuptial agreement. I've never seen it happen in my entire life. I've never seen a man come back and say, I'm mad because I made a smart business decision and making sure that I didn't let my feelings get in the way of the person that I picked to be the mother of my kid.